Just type your parenting dilemma. That any parenting dilemma in the chat room, and I'll be reading them. I believe before these two ladies leave this, they will have answered all our parenting questions. We have to stay on that track as we parents. Parents, you type everything. The chat room is open. Type everything so that we can help each other. We are here to hold each other's hand. So, yeah, I'm waiting for you. Say hello, say hi, type that thing down. Yeah, as we start, it's 1 minute past. Yes, and we shall even be live on YouTube as well as we shall share. So even please type your Gmails in the chat room. We shall share podcasts about this. You can listen in any other time when you're free. You listen in, you subscribe to our YouTube. Yes. Wow, Judy saying she's so happy to be here. We are also happy to have you. Type in your Gmails. We shall send our podcasts so that we have to hold each other's hand in this journey of parenting. This is a global village of parenting of nowadays. So, dear parents, type your Gmail, type your parenting dilemma, everything in the chat room. Make it busy. Nanyans, you're welcome. Thank you for joining in. Yes, and our speaker today, I'm not the person to introduce her, but I know she's super, super ready for us, plus the modulator.
Okay, a good mid-morning or early afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. Parents, thank you for being here for yourselves because weekend is when you think of resting. That's when we are doing housework. So many things are happening around us, but I'm so happy that as parents, we intentionally stand in for ourselves. So since we have a good number, we are going to start. I will start by introducing myself as a moderator. I am Dr. Hanifa Namala Sengendo, CEO Stepping Stone, but with a background of being a Musawo, a pediatrician, but now more interested and passionate about parenting. And so my clinical work is done through parenting coaching. So I'm so excited to be here. And this particular topic actually resonates with me so much. Entitlement trap. Throughout this career, I've had, actually, since we put up the webinar, I see parents who inboxed me. Some parents are actually saying, "Abana b'ennaku zino batusobedde." Rachel, you should be able to mute immediately people who are actually in the backgrounds. So please, Chris, continuously ask people to mute. So, Rachel, if you could ask, or rather Chris. So parents are saying, "Abana b'ennaku zino batusobedde," as in children of nowadays. Oh my God. It's like we are in that dilemma complaining about children, yet also children are complaining about us. So we are not here to have a blame game, by the way, but it's a dilemma on our side. That's why, as Stepping Stone, we said let's always get a little time in every month to speak to ourselves. I mean, remember, we are not super moms or super dads or super uncles, but we need this time to share, to talk to each other and see how we can actually move, because parenting is a God-given role. This particular topic ranked number 1 when we put out a survey about 5 weeks ago on what we could be talking about as parents. And I really hope the children are not in the call. So we love the children so much, but for this particular call, we do not want the children yet. I know in some of the other webinars, as you make suggestions into the chat room of the topics, we shall have to call in the children and we hear from their perspective. But for now, tuegamba ko us as parents. So ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to start. Just grab that tea. I have my cup here with my tea. So parenting is not a crime. As we listen to this, just grab that cup of tea of yours. Yeah, and then we should be able to start. We are going to discuss an important topic that is an entitlement trap. We called it a trap. And unlocking this parenting dilemma is basically what is going to be the main goal or objective of this session. And someone amongst our fellow parents, a stepping stone parent, a beneficiary, agreed to take us on this very important topic. I would now like to introduce our speaker. And I know she's on call already, so let me just take the opportunity of introducing her. She's called Miss Nachibuka Nuru Musisi. She's a passionate human rights lawyer. And I can guess many of us, some of our questions around this topic will be around the human rights. With over 15 years of experience working in health and social justice. And she's currently the Deputy Executive Director of SEHUD. She will tell us exactly what that means, though I know. And she leads legal and advocacy work around maternal health, gender issues, adolescents, well-being. So she's really a very well-placed person to be with us. She's a respected trainer, researcher, and she has, developed and been working on insightful briefs, policies, regulations around parenting. And so she really understands the law, the so-called children's rights, and all those things. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to put my microphone down and call in our presenter to first just say hello. Then I can, and she gives me the microphone. So, Miss Noor, may you just say hello so that we know you are on call. Turn on your video.
Hanifa. Good afternoon, dear parents. I am more than honored to be speaking to you today.
Wow.
Thank you.
So she's already with us. Yeah. So Nuru, before you even, in this parenting coaching journey that I keep holding, I am getting so many of us parents talking about entitlement, the entitlement behavior. And I'm trying to understand this thing, but then I think I'm a lay person. So this thing of entitlement, have you, from your experience as an advocate, as an enthusiast of, being in maternal, adolescent, this entitlement behavior, are you seeing the patterns, the form? What are those forms of entitlement anyway? So please, I will ask our team behind to stop sharing so that we can ably have Noor to share her video very well and without any other distraction. So, Noor, please, I guess your video is on. Turn on your video, you have the microphone. That's my first question. I don't understand these things of entitlement very well. Yes.
All right. Please allow me not to use video. I think it's okay to maintain the flyer for the webinar. First and foremost, I wish to...
Can I request that you do the video, please? Because then we want to see the person speaking. So I request Chris to remove so that we can resonate. You know, when you look at the person, then you really feel the words talking to you. Amaaso g'Omuganda gali mu ngalo eziwatu oba gali mu maaso. Now that Luganda. So let's start, please.
Okay, allow me to do so that you see who I am, and then I'll get it off because I'm not in a very proper place for video. But I'm not sure if I can be seen. I don't seem to see, but that is me. Happy to engage you this afternoon to speak about the entitlement trap. And I earlier indicated that to our dear parents, I wish to assure you that beyond the credentials that have been discussed about who I am, I also happen to be a parent and a mother of 4 and a mother of an upcoming teenager. So some of the things that I'm going to speak to are things I have experienced in my own home, but also things that I see in my everyday workplace, like things that you see every day. And by Stepping Stone asking me to speak about this and my acceptance, to me, it feels like more of sharing with parents what I have seen and how I have managed to kind of come up and say, no, enough is enough. This is not what we are going to be doing. So I really wish to appreciate the team at Stepping Stone platform, as well as Dr. Hanifa's leadership for looking out for me to have this particular conversation. Having said that, I will then get into the question around these traps. What are these traps? How do we get them? What forms do they take? Do we even know if these are traps or not? So I'll get off my video for now. So the trap, sorry. I wish to start off by saying that the things that we are struggling with today are things that many parents in Uganda struggle with. And we have various categories of parents in Uganda. We know that we have various families. We have child-headed families, we have nuclear, we have extended families. And these are not entitlements that are placed in one home or another. They happen to appear in all homes. So the trap is that common pitfall that that can hinder one to achieve their goals. It's just a mindset among children that
That's in New York all the time, and I just thought, maybe we could do something different tonight. Take the night off.
Sorry, I didn't notice you too.
someone speaking to you.
Madam Mary, please mute.
Okay.
Can I proceed, please?
I'm just asking, Chris, could you mute Madam Mary? Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Kindly
thank you.
proceed.
I'll then proceed. Which, if we do not detect early and have solutions together early, it turns out to be a biggest factor of mental distress that we see in the country today. So it is a mindset that children expect to be given special treatment, and that treatment is automatic. And the expectation is that parents must comply with that automatic special treatment, failure of which children take it as if you don't love them, as if you're not for them, as if they can do anything. So it's just that special treatment. And moving forward within this webinar, we'll explore what leads to that. How does it come about? And what strategies can we use so that we promote responsibility and gratitude within children. And what can we do as parents to do that? But also, how far can we go as parents in terms of ensuring that we don't end up into this particular trap? So I asked a question to explain how this trap really comes about. First, I indicated that the trap is just an expectation of a special treatment. So one form is actually that. There's an expectation from children that they will be treated specially. They'll have a special treatment, that they deserve and get special favors from parents and people. And that's one form that will actually take. The second form that the entitlement trap takes is one of lack of empathy. So because the children that we nurture expect a special treatment, they end up with a form of no empathy for any other person. So this way, they struggle to understand what respect looks like for others and feelings and needs of others. Why? Because to them, you have to treat them in a special way, and that's what they expect. So the second form or pattern is lack of empathy. The third is a disregard of rules. So as long as you're trapped into this entitlement trap, your children will ignore you. Your children will resist rules. Your children will not think about any boundaries that you place as a parent, sorry. For example, if you woke up and said that all children have to be in bed by 8, and the child fails to follow that, know that you're actually already in the trap. Because this pattern of entitlement comes out in a sense that children do not follow anything. Now, if you don't pay more attention as a parent, it means that you get into the trap. So if you're the parent that leaves everything to the maids, then you're into the trap. If you're the parent that is hands-on and can bring out your whole energy, then you will go through strategies on how to make sure that you don't get into this particular trap. The other pattern is blaming others. They will always tell you X is responsible for the mistake or the problem they do at home or at school or in whatever environment they are. It kind of becomes like a blame game. So that for them, you kind of treat special that they cannot do anything wrong. So these are types of children that you have where, in case of anything, they'll always look out for another person. They'll always tell you, mommy, it's not me, but you know I can't do that. When somebody is beaten or if anything is done wrongly in a home or school or another environment, the law is point to another. So that blame game thing that you see, blaming others, is a pattern of an entitlement trap. And the other that eats up us all the time is materialism. They expect to receive material goods and luxuries without earning them. They're the type of children that you will see that will point to a phone, even if you're having a webinar like this, you pick up a phone and give because the phone is for them at that time. They're the kind of children that expect to move to a supermarket and they will pick anything they want because they're children anyway. So that special treatment of materialism is a thing that comes through. Of late, we have patterns of, I don't know what kind of parties they make in schools. And the child expects you to buy a particular cloth, a particular shoe, a particular what. That bit of materialism, what they have not worked for them, is one that we have to look out for. Dr. Hanifa, I have done the conversation.
Yeah. Oh my God. As you were speaking, some of the things really resonate with me because I'm a judge nowadays, and one day I went to the supermarket. I saw my son-in-law trying to pick things. I actually didn't know I was into the entitlement trap because then I think I should have behaved differently. Well, we are here to learn, and as parents, we always learn and unlearn. But now you have talked all the things on the side of the child, like us, providing those materials, but what causes entitlement among children? Is it purely on those other side of the child or us as parents? So what causes entitlement among our children of nowadays?
Great. Thank you so much for that question. Again, when we are having a conversation about entitlement traps, we have to look at ourselves as parents, but also at the children. So I know that we are here to learn and understand from each other. So one, what causes that is overindulgence. We give children too much so easily without expecting. Just let's get to the real factors that we see today. When schools are starting, and I usually look at this dilemma, parents keep asking, give me a list of the things that you want to take to school. And a child will give you 3 full scarves of things. So you move to a supermarket and see parents with all sorts of things being bought for children. You give too much too easily without them expecting. You even say, you cannot take one sack of milk. I will make it 3 so that it is okay. It is enough for you until a visitation. So around at the place where I stay, I see a parent struggling, and I think after this webinar, I'll speak to this parent. This parent, the business people, they're really rich, they're wealthy, and they give their son everything that he has wanted in life. From the child is about 16, 17 years, he's the child that will have the latest phones. He's the child that will have the designer clothes that you know. He's the child that will have all the designer bags. He's the child that will have all the bicycles that you need. He's the child, I now see they're teaching him how to drive. Okay? So what does that child do? He expects to be handed to him everything on a silver platter, and he fails to have bits of motivation and responsibility. When he doesn't get what he wants, that is when you get to know that there's something in this home. You'll hear all sorts of noise. You'll hear all tables being banged. You'll hear gates being banged. And then you get to know, oh, perhaps they didn't give this particular boy what he wants. So that is a cause of entitlement. As parents, we give too much, sometimes unnecessary. And as we move down, I'll show you, perhaps get into what should we be doing then. The other cause is lack of cause and responsibility. We fail to teach children to contribute to the household. Let me just give you an example. I happen to have one of my children, my first daughter is 13 years. So when I saw Stepping Stones advertise a boot camp, I think in 2023, I said perhaps I start it. Why I started it is because I had tried this girl several times and I had failed. Of course, we know how we treat firstborns, you know. They're your best. You feel that, I mean, you're learning on job with this child as the first child. So I told my husband that, you know what, we are going to have this child into a boot camp. It's like, really, is she going to be away in a holiday alone by himself? I was like, yeah, let's try and see. Do you know that people? I said, well, I have only met Dr. Hanifa somewhere in a workspace environment. I did not see her as a bad person, but I trust, let's proceed. So we agreed as parents that we take this child. She's very, very tiny. When this girl came back, things turned around. And I know she has done some of this thing in a video where she has said, I am the breakfast maker in the house. We no longer give her roles. So her chores were kind of described in this boot camp. She knows that when she's home, she will do the breakfast for us. She does the simple things. She will do the spaghetti. She knows how to do chapati. She knows how to do some of these things. Some of these things she learned from the boot camp, right? So in the house, what I have added on as a core for her is to say, at your age, no one can wash your knickers for you anymore. So get knickers out of the laundry basket. They will not get into the machine. No one will wash them for you. It is your responsibility. Slowly, we are getting to learn chores. So you cannot wake up and you find the house dirty and swept because maybe somebody is waiting to do it. No, it's a chore she has picked up. She's one person who will wake up and come and wake you up to say, Mommy, it is time for Subuhi, come and we pray. Meaning it's also coming up as a core for her, the responsibility to tell us as parents that please let us pray. Slowly but surely, you see these are light jobs. that children can do in homes. It's not heavy work, but the mere fact that she knows that it's her responsibility. Of course, we know that we have to pray, but putting that responsibility to a person to say, wake me up in the morning, kind of comes up for them to know that they're not entitled to anything in the house. So that lack of powers is one way that causes entitlement trap. Now, holidays are coming. You're going to buy data, mania Netflix, or what? Bring maids in the houses and leave your children to watch TV, give them smartphones as much as they want. Then you come back in the evening, they come and welcome you, welcome back, daddy. You become so happy and you don't take a minute to ask the child, what did you actually do during the day? Or you don't take a minute to say, let us draw a plan on what we should be doing. So that lack of powers comes out as a cause. The other is overpraising. We overpraise our children. We overpraise anything when there is no achievement, when there is no expectation. You praise them as if you're praising gold. And because you praise them, they take it that in any way I am treated as a special child. I am not saying don't praise your children, no. If I found the child has mopped, I will wake up and praise the child for that core they have done, But what do you praise them for in your home? It's a question to you. The other way is what I call the helicopter parenting. You are the kind of parent that always rescues your child from challenges and failures. Your child is at school, but they know if they jump over the fence, daddy will come. That one, they buy wire mesh, daddy will buy. And the child knows that once I'm in danger, mommy or daddy will always come and get me out of danger. So that is another way that causes children to get into the trap. If you're the kind of parent that goes to school and punishes for the bad thing that the child has done, trust me, you'll not get into that particular trap. The other is lack of boundaries. You fail to set clear rules and expectations for behavior as parents. For example, at what time do children get into your bedrooms? Is it an automatic entrance? Is it a knock and enter? Or is it a knock and wait to be responded to enter? The moment they become those ones that just walk in, you're already in the trap. Because you have not set a boundary. How often do you give your child a phone? Is it one that picks up and carries? Is it one that asks and waits to be given? Or is it one that asks and just picks up? The moment you don't set boundaries, you're already in the trap. How much do your children ask for money from people? Is it that whoever they find, they ask for money and it's okay for you? Or are they children that you have taught that it's not good to ask for money from people? So our lack of boundaries is a cause for entitlement. Then we have this other one called favoring children. You show them that you love one over the other, and that leads to feelings of entitlement. The moment you say, especially parents who may be struggling with a single-sex child and get one, assuming you only have boys, and you get this one girl, and you start favoring, and I'm not saying we all do that, you start favoring this one girl over the boys, or those ones who have firstborns and maybe delivered and spent years without getting a secondborn, and you choose which child, or those ones with lastborns and you think they're the omega and alpha. That bit of favoritism, or those that favor children that perform well in class over others who perhaps are mediocre and struggle, slow learners, you're already in the trap. So that causes a trap. The moment you favor one child over another, the key things that come up then become that for me, I am given special treatment and I know anything that I ask from my parents, I'll get. So that's also a cause. The other cause is unrealistic expectations. We create these expectations about what children can achieve or what they deserve. For example, I know that some parents already it's coming to holiday and they've already indicated that children will go for trips. They've already indicated that children go for sleepovers. They've already indicated that they will have 4 maids in the house to help them. That kind of unrealistic expectation that you're creating among the children is a cause of entitlement. This is what we see. I think we had a story about a son who died about, I think, last term. And there are several stories anyway, but the more that caught social media was that this child asked for 5 million and was never given. The question is, was it favoritism? Was it overpraising? Was it lack of responsibility? And the child ended up dying. And this is one of the major, by the way, causes of mental distress and death among school-going children. The other is societal pressures, culture and societal pressures. Sometimes we expect that society, we place a lot of emphasis on material possessions and wealth. Because you're in a society and you expect to have this, you expect that your children will have this, they also go with that. So these pressures among the society becomes a challenge. We even go to family gatherings and you expect everyone knows that if Noor is the one bringing her children, they will be dressed with the best shoes. They will have all sorts of snacks in the car because the society is pushing you towards that. They expect you to have that. So the children are also falling trap and you're also falling into the trap. Then the other is parental gifts. We use material gifts to compensate for lack of time and attention to our children. We know, we tell them, never mind, I am moving out. I don't have time for you, but I'll come back with ice cream for you. It is guilt. You're actually not giving these kids much goods. It is because you're giving the parent and you end up falling into the trap. So because you do that, what the
Please continue. Continue. Sorry for that interruption. Someone. Yeah. I need to be advised. I don't know whether our speaker has gone off, but by the time she ended, she was actually talking about us parents compensating our absence for materials. Like you go away, you are not at home at all. That little time, then you say, I'm giving you ice cream, go and play. Chris, can I get advice if our speaker is still on?
It's your team that is muting me. I think they need to know my name so that they don't mute me as part of the ones that are speaking there.
Okay, so let's continue, please.
that.
Thank you.
Okay, so
So you were discussing the parental guilt.
Sorry, parental guilt as another cause of entitlement, that we think that we are giving children these entitlements, but it is out of guiltness. How? I am now, for example, I'm not home. It is a Saturday and I'm not in the house. I am seated somewhere for this particular webinar. But I cannot go. I didn't tell my children as I left that, I am moving away, but I will come back with a shoe for you. No. But some parents do that often. What do? They walk out in times when children do not expect them to be walking out, or go to rest in times when children do not expecting them to do that. And in turn, they promise material goods. And that is wrong because then you're getting yourself into a what? That entitlement trap. And lastly, it's the lack of role models. I keep asking my children, who is your role model? So if you fail to get that person who your child grows up admiring, you fail. When I was growing up, I really, 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 really loved Justice Julia Sebutinde. Oh my God. I loved this judge. Every time for me was Justice Julia Sebutinde. And I kept telling my people, I didn't grow up with my parents, that, you know what? I think I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a judge. I want to be there. For you, who is your role model for your child? If you don't have a role model, then it means the child will take you in all sorts of corners that they want. And it's okay for a child to be nurtured in the way they want. The child that I've been speaking about, giving an example that went to the boot camp, for her role models are hairdressers. When she finds a hairdresser, oh my God, she keeps telling me, Mommy, I am going to be an international hairdresser because I love hairdressing. So my role is now to start giving her those people who have been in hairdressing to become role models. So if we fail to get role models for our children, we actually are into the trap. So what I've discussed about 5-6 points in my view, are the causes of entitlement among children. Over to Dr.
Well,
Anefa.
now I think now I need to breathe a little because some of these things are for real, but we said as parents, we are not here to be guilty, but we are here to learn and learn and really pick what I mean. You can pick one practice because you know what, parents, some things may apply to you, others don't. But for me, recently, as you talk about, switching or change our guild, you provide materials. Of recent, I've seen parents who provide iPads for their children. When the child is eating, they give an iPad. When the child refuses to or cries and is, you know how they can do like this, they give the iPad. Then you buy the Wi-Fi that is over how many gigabytes over manya what. But leave alone saying we have internet for homework. But some of those things, we are really in a trap. But it's good we are talking about it. You also talked about the issue of risk, like we pump our children so much, no risk. But I would like to pause and ask parents, maybe 3 or 4 people, what is standing out for you at this point of the discussion? Please, I will request maybe 3 parents to unmute, and then you tell me. Others, you can type in the chat. What is standing out for you on this issue of us being into a trap? Like the patterns that have been talked about, but also the causes from the Council Nuru's experience as a parent, as a mother, but also as a
Good morning, Dala.
Yes, good morning, Nanyanzi. Can we have 2 people? What is standing out for them? Someone just put up your hand, unmute actual, and you speak. I see someone is typing in the chat room that truly lack of role models for your child, yes. And lack of boundaries, that's very true. That is standing out for her. I would like to hear at least 3 parents' voices. What is standing out for you as at this point in time? Remember that children are not here, so we can. Who has unmuted? Wow, parents, I need to hear the voices.
Hi, Hanifa.
Yes, dear Doris.
Doris here. Wow. What the lady speaking, Noor, you're really, really on point, and what you're saying is, yeah, it hits home.
Please,
Okay,
Chris, mute
Mariam.
Mariam Hadija. She will speak after Doris. Please, Doris, go ahead.
Saying what Noor is saying really hits home. It's very interesting, some of the things that we probably don't even do intentionally. Maybe things like favoritism because of one thing or other, maybe academic performance, and you find yourself comparing the kids academically. So there are little subtle things that I'm hearing, some areas where even I feel I have fallen victim. And it's really an eye-opener because even this morning I was just talking to my 18-year-old teenager, and I was telling her, my God, you're so entitled, and I don't know why, because you're not any more special than the other children at school. I kept going on and on telling her about how she felt so entitled. But yeah, so I'm here checking myself and saying, how did we get to this point? So thank you, Noor.
Okay, thank you very much. Mariam or some other person, someone else had their hand up. This is an exchange. It's not a formula of, 1 + 1 is 2. No, no, no. But you see, we are checking ourselves. Like when Doris says, she says you're entitled. She needs to have her checklist. Is it the child who is entitled, or it is us who are making the children being entitled? either intentionally or unintentionally. So we are here to pick some of these nuggets so that if there are any unintentional or either intentional or unintentional, you can be able now to have a second thought before you give your child ice cream wherever you are unnecessarily away, or you buy new shoes all the time. And we have so many clothes in our closets, so many for the children. They cry for pink, red, blue, same design. So are we in that trap? It's just for us to check ourselves. May I hear some other parents speak? Who has their hand up? One
Okay.
person? Yes.
I'm
Then
Pamela,
email.
and
Pamela, please go ahead.
I think mine is the reflection is what I have seen as a single parent. We
Yeah.
tend to want to kind of want to cover up the absence of the other person by making sure that we go over and above, as if that is going to like cover up that space or that void. And then in the end, you find yourself in a trap of you ask yourself, how did I get there? Because then it seems like the child becomes like entitled. They know they must have, after all, they are the only ones. And now that is it is even worse when it's just one child. Then they feel that they are entitled, they should have everything that they need, or because also you're trying so hard to cover up the other absence. So for me, that is where my reflection is. And I really agree with Nuru that having role models is very important. And also, what kind of role model is your child picking? Because now we also know that their role models are probably musicians. Maybe yes,
No.
at times you look at them and they are telling you that's their role model, and you're wondering, so what is this child liking about this person? And when you get into a deeper conversation with them, there is nothing, or because they dance well or they sing well, but yet like they do not have a talent of singing or dancing, and you're wondering, okay, but how? So also as our children choose role models, or we choose role models for them, we need to check what your child likes, and then you take them to that direction of the kinds of people that you see now, like the example that Nuru gave, having all her life in childhood she was looking at Julia 17. No wonder she's on probably her way to wear 17 day. Why she liked 17 day? Because already she's a council. So I feel for some of the things, parents, we really, really need to be intentional. Thank you. That's my submission.
Wow, it's getting hotter, it's getting more. I mean, we are learning, we are checking ourselves, but remember we said we are not guilty now. We are here to learn and learn and relearn. So as I get insight of whether there is another hand, Mr. Sebwato Williams says that I think we have a regime of tired parents. We spend a lot of time elsewhere at work with other people, by the way, and have little indulgence for the children. So we replace parenting with indulgence for whatever they want so they can leave us alone. These children shouldn't shout. You go to you can't play the what? You go to that cartoon. So every time the child seems to be disturbing you because they want to go to a cartoon, yet that time you'd probably say, no, just come and wash your panties, just come and do this. So that one is coming out. Someone is saying some parents prioritize grab for their children to school fees. Some parents prioritize grab for, yeah. I like this. I wish you could even open and speak to us, because you are saying that some parents seem to actually to buy, if a child produces a 65 shopping list, they buy 65. If they buy 64, they apologize. Yet fees hasn't been completed. But Wilson, you can actually open and tell us. Justin is saying, please expound on the lack of boundaries as a probable cause of entitlement. Maybe Nur pick that question. You let us know. I need guidance. Do we have someone who has put their hand up? I need two parents. This is not a one side. we are discussing as parents. So I need two parents to unmute and tell us what is stand. Esther Imede, please. Madam Esther, please unmute. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. What actually caught my attention was the issue of boundaries, setting boundaries. Sometimes we allow these children to over familiarize with us, and it causes a lot of problems. Those boundaries, because when we teach them, they will grow up knowing even in their personal lives in future, they need to know that those boundaries are supposed to be respected. And I see that their home take points here, even for me, to begin to check on those areas and emphasize and strengthen those points, that those boundaries have to be respected in terms of when do they access your room, when do they just rush in, when it comes to your phone, and many other areas. Thank you for the great presentation. It's a good one that really checks so many areas to make us better parents. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you very much. And you see, someone brought in the issue of single parenting. And I know in some of our webinars, we shall be diving deeper into some of these things as the Emily unmutes, Madam Emily Nabidio. But it's not by the way only for single parents. We know we have absent partners. My husband may be too busy, but that compensation to show that I'm the one available, I may end up, over covering the absence of the husband or the absence of the mother, either way. So I think these are some of the things that we need a mindset on, as our speaker said. May we have Madam Emily Nabidio to open her mic?
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Doctor. I feel so interested and happy that I've joined the webinar. My take home is I think I've been a victim of favoritism, and like the way they submitted that it's most cases caused by the fact that we have the spacing between the children. And for me, I thought I did not see it in that way. In my mind, as like I'm raising a firstborn who I need to engage more, probably to show way, but at least now I know the impact on the rest of the siblings. Secondly, I think we need to target the grassroots of where the cause sometimes comes from, the communities that engage our children. For example, they do interact with the others probably at school, and they think what has been given to the other should be given to them. For example, I'll still refer to my son. He has engaged with the different friends that probably have made it, or their parents have made it in life, and probably for him he thinks they have all. And then he will come and tell you, but mommy, I think for you, you're a traditional mother, you're an African mother, but he feels the other parties are better because of what they have, and the fact that they are young, they don't know the impact on them. So I think we need to target the schools, the churches, the friends, the neighborhood, and whoever comes in contact, or the friends they make, are they really the best friends they should make? And are we able to cite or to show them the effects of what they think is better for them? Thank you. That's my submission.
Okay, thank you very much, Emily. I think all this discussion is very, very healthy. But also let's remember that as children grow, it is okay okwegomba. Even us, you can look at something and then you say, oh, I wish I had that. So when a child does that, it is an opportunity for you as a parent to sit this child down. Actually, take it as an opportunity. Why? The growing brain likes all those things. It is an opportunity for you. It's not for you now to die and buy that iPhone 16 Pro Max. It's not then for you to buy the new shoe every holiday, because you know, mommy, my friends, every time they have a new bag, you have 10 bags in the house. So those are some of the favoritisms that we actually get into. Someone in the chat room says that Cornelia Asimwe says that every child is born a king or queen. Maybe it is high time for us to consolidate their kingship or queenship. We struggle because we don't have value systems in our families. What are our value systems? Can we create them? So I don't know whether Cornelia, you want to substantiate on your answer, but Umar says that social media can perpetuate unrealistic expectations and promote consumerism, like consuming. Yeah, social media does that because scientifically we know that social media leads to release of happy hormones like dopamine, and so they want to consume on and on. And then someone says lack of consequences. Parents, we fail to hold children accountable for their action, and that leads to a sense of entitlement and lack of responsibility. So parents on the call, our colleague is telling us that we should hold our children accountable. I like that discussion. Jackie, this was one time my mentor, Jackie Nantongo. Thank you so much, Emily. I have set boundaries, and I have a friend who brings her kids to my home. And by the time they leave, I have to go back in court with my children why I tell them differently. So that's why someone is talking about value systems, like people come in and they are doing other things. So your children are saying, but mommy, why do you tell us these things yet when other people come in? Wow, the discussions are so healthy. Another critical issue is parenting in the presence of different parenting styles between parents. One parent may lean towards a more indulgent approach, believing that providing children with leniency and constant affirmation fosters closeness and emotional security, whereas the other parent is actually a disciplinarian. Oh my God. So if we conflict as parents before the children, then the child is not the problem. It is us, the parents. Members, this discussion is getting into more, really bone marrow. Now the doctor in me comes. The bone marrow of the discussion. But I would like our moderator, first of all, pick that question. How does setting boundaries, lack of setting boundaries, how does it lead to entitlement? But also, please answer this question. This thing of the law, for me, sometimes, actually, I don't know whether I'm just ignorant or I have phobia for the law. For me, I think the law pampers the children. But now I'm here to learn. So if you can take on those two questions, I will be happy to give you the mic. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, colleagues. I really enjoyed as people spoke. I feel like Dr. Hanif, this was that time that we should have. I think we are not late, but I feel like I think Stepping Stone is a step ahead in terms of providing parents with this information. And I'm really happy that people are able to sit and reflect about the things that they see every day in their homes. And since we are here to learn, you pick one thing, as you said earlier, and move with that. So I really wish to appreciate you on that. So in terms of setting boundaries, I'll just say what I said, that as parents, we have fallen into the trap because we have failed to set boundaries. We have failed to know when children hold our phones. We have failed to know whether they ask or not. There are children that you see that the moment you put a phone down, they pick up, they know your WhatsApp message, your, what are they called, passwords?
Your password.
They even know how to buy that and just exactly, and it is okay. Yet there's a category of children who will never touch parents' phone. There's a category of children who will ask, and when you do not say yes to their request, they will not hold it. There are categories of children who ask and wait to be told.
If you
yes.
say no, they throw tantrums.
Exactly. There's a category of a child who will not enter your bedroom until they have knocked. There's that one who will just knock and enter. There's one who will knock and say, can I come in? If you don't respond, they go silent, they will not enter. There's one who will just, because in any case, they are entitled to enter your bedroom at any time. And these are examples I gave. There are those who you're going to move with to supermarkets. And because you've not set a boundary, now, me who is always in supermarkets, one thing that I always see are cries of children who will sit down, undress, do what, throw all sorts of tantrums because the parents never set boundaries. Yet there are parents who walk in with 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 10-year-olds, and they will never touch a thing. Ideally, you get to know that, I think this parent set a boundary vis-a-vis the other one who said no to a child and they throw tantrums. So that puts us into a trap. How? Because you don't want to annoy your special child, because you want to give your child a special treatment, you end up doing what you should not be doing. You end up saying, okay, before people, I will buy for you today, but tomorrow I will not. But the question is, why would you? Why do you buy? Why do you give them? It's because you've not set a boundary. So these are things we need to look out for. The other that you want me to speak about is if the law is a contributor to the things that we are speaking about. And I will say that I am a lawyer by myself.
I first disclaim that I have phobia for the law. So, no.
So I will not speak the law. I will speak English. So when you look at a country like Uganda, we have various legislations that protect children, ranging from the Children's Act, children, ranging from the Constitution, from the Family and Children Court Rules, and the Penal Code Act. And I'll speak to the Penal Code Act. The other a bit straight, and somebody might say, why is she putting the Penal Code Act? Because the Penal Code Act is one that says if you defile a child of below 18, this is your punishment. It sets crimes and penalties, and children are protected within that legislation. So we have all these. And their aim is to actually protect rights of children and ensure that their welfare is at the center of everything. I want to tell you that these legislations in Uganda describe who a child is. And they describe a child as one who is below the age of 18. So if you have what you call your teenager and they're below 18, they are children of the government because they're still young. They're not your children. And therefore, the government is still regulating on how you engage those children. That's why they come up to say you cannot engage such children in hard labor. You cannot put those children at home and all that. So this law is really meant to protect the rights of the children. And this is why the state puts up various structures to protect them. And structures range from schools, from health facilities, from remand homes. Children also have their own remand homes. You cannot remand a child who has been caught up in the criminal justice system in the same home or prison as an adult. So the government has all these structures in place. And it's perhaps why the law is strict on protection, and it kind of has harsh penalties for some of these. So why the law, and I might not go into the details of what the law says, but I'll just give you some of the hints. The law, for example, requires you that as a parent, you must provide for that child, nurture that child, give them the right to education, give them the right to health. What they say is for them is what you have to think about, what we call the welfare principle. The interest of the child is put at the center of everything in law. However, the key question that we are asking ourselves now is whether these legislations contribute to the entitlement trap that we are speaking about, especially that the blame either gets to the law or the parents or the children. And in my honest view, I really think that some provisions of the law actually put us or contribute to this entitlement trap. How? There are legislations like the Children Act that emphasize rights without corresponding responsibilities. Or there are legislations that protect children's rights that emphasize the state or external provision without promoting self-sufficiency. And when you look at them, one can easily come up to say that, in fact, the law is the problem. When you read these legislations, you actually find that they're rights of children. And I've spoken to the rights. I've said education, I've said health care, I've said being nurtured for by parents, among others. But the responsibility of protecting these children is wholly placed on the parents. I do not see my analysis of the law responsibility to the child. Where the law places responsibility, does not place responsibility to the child, if misinterpreted, the child can go to emphasize that they're actually entitled and then have the parent placed into the entitlement trap. And that becomes a risk which we have to mitigate. How do we mitigate it? We need to think about balancing rights with responsibilities. And because the law places the responsibility on us and the protection bit on us, it is us as the parents to start preaching responsibility. How? If the law says the child has a right to education, and it is your responsibility as a parent to ensure that the child goes through education, then place responsibility as a parent to that child to do the homework. I am very sorry we have parents on this group who even help children to do their homework and do not think that it's a responsibility of the children. If the law says that provide food to the child, for example, then you, the parent, put a responsibility when you provide food of the child to wash the utensils. There's a parent asking here that why is it that their 12-year-old cannot even wash utensils? How do they nurture them? How do they nurture that child? And we will have a conversation. But here we are. If the law tells you, and this is what the law provides, provide food to your children, it's your responsibility to protect them and protect their health care by ensuring that you give food. Then you place a responsibility. How? Remember the conversations around chores, house chores? Please provide a chore so that they know that one of the things they have to do is to wash utensils in the house. If the law places that the child must receive health care, then put a responsibility on that child to take medication. So for me, the weighing and balancing comes in handy because the law, in my view, is one-sided. It places protection issues and responsibility to the parents. But the parents can work within the law to be able to provide responsibility on the side of the children. The other way of doing it is to encourage initiatives that promote self-sufficiency, such as education, job training, and economic empowerment. When you strike this balance, you then can protect children while at the same time having a sense of responsibility as parents, and therefore you'll have a balanced conversation, and you have children who are able to balance and know their worth and not take you into the trap. When it comes to economic empowerment, let me give you an example of the things that I do. I grow cabbage, and after this webinar, I'm going to the garden. I'm going to pick cabbage. So when I pick cabbage, I go with my 9-year-old because the 13-year-old, the first one that I was speaking to, is in school. Or let me just give you an example. I have here a 6-year-old. I'm not going to sit aside. I moved with him. We left home at 6:30 a.m. I moved with him to go and pick gardens for mushroom. He needs to know that mushroom is not sold in a supermarket. He needs to know that mushroom is grown. And because we grow it, I move with that one when it comes to mushroom. And we sell together. The one for cabbage, while the law tells me to provide food, I will provide food. But now, since I'm going to the garden to pick cabbage, I go with her. When we come back, I tell her, we are leaving 3 for home or 5. The rest we are going to sell. And we are going to sell to people. Now, for me, this is the economic empowerment of this 9-year-old. So how I do it, I will pack and tell her there's a home there. Please go and greet them. Tell them we are selling cabbage and make sure you come back with the customer. She will go and greet herself. Hello, people. Good afternoon. My name is X. We are selling cabbage. We start from this amount. Do you want to buy? So she comes and says to the car and says, Mommy, they want for 5,000. Now I come out, pack the 5,000, give her and tell her when they give you money, say thank you. In that way, I am not torturing the child because it's light work. I am economically empowering the child while providing food. I am giving responsibility to this child. And I've not gone against the law. No. Because the law requires me to protect the child. And I'm also putting responsibility to the child. You can also do something else. Perhaps it's not what you do. I know parents who move to supermarkets, pack aside and tell the child, I have given you 10,000. Go to the supermarket, buy bread, they give you a receipt, you come back. Now, you're providing bread as food, but you're giving this child responsibility to buy. They know in their sense that by moving to the supermarket, they are not just picking things and taking away. You're putting some bit of economic sense, empowerment in them, because they will know that you can actually not go to the supermarket without money and get a thing. So in my honest view, Dr. Hanifa, this is it about the law that I can provide for now, and the question of responsibility that I responded to.
Wow, as I keep saying, this webinar is supposed to be 1 hour, so I request parents for some more 10 minutes. But you know, so many things are standing out for me, because even when we hold stepping stone boot camps, and I'm so happy, Nuri, you are really saying that that is a testimony. I know our daughter very well, and I know the hairdressing story. But you see, the very question the children are asking, they say, we have our rights. So for me, I guess that in our next interfaces with the children, we shall need people like you to come and speak to our children, rights versus responsibilities. We've been trying to do that bit, I mean, not so strongly, but now that it is hitting us as parents, you know, when children get up being entitled, because they say, you know, it is my right. It is my right to move around. It is my right to dress the way I want. I'm now picking the difference between rights and responsibilities. That as parents, we should actually endeavor to ensure that those children's rights come with responsibilities. They don't just stand alone. Even when the children say it is my right, attach the responsibility. Now, I can see fathers are crying on the call here. They say that fathers, kudos to the fathers. But I see so many mothers. Where are the fathers? Can I ask one father to speak? And then woman says, that is say what? Woman says that, fathers, we are available. Our wives keep on reminding us to be active in parenting journey. So we are now here. Can we hear a man voice as we try to close this? But as we get the man's voice, we are saying to be role models, but and as we are discussing entitlement, you talked these rights, whatever, go in the schools and whatever. But as parents, we abuse maids when the children are there. So then the children know that it is my right also to abuse the maid. You'll actually give us your take on to that. And also, so please, members, provide us with your emails, because afterwards we create podcasts, we create newsletters for our children. So I just want to hear a voice of a man on the call. I see Umal, Sewat, and others. Just speak to us. One voice of a man. Wilson, please speak.
Speaking from Mubende.
Yes.
I sent an article there about parents prioritizing grab to school fees. I had an experience one time. We are taking back our children to school in Arisunsa Senior Secondary School. At that time, this time they closed the gate. Only the prefects collect banker slips. But what was surprising, actually, had those big vehicles were full of grab, but they had not come with their banker slips. They had not paid. I was so surprised that people really prioritize food to school fees. Another experience I've had is going for those meetings. Most of the meetings we go to, it is mainly the women who are there. The fathers are not seen. How will the children really like the father who is always absent? That is my submission. Thank you.
Okay, that sounds great. Parents prioritizing, we already in the trap because the child, you want to please the child so much with the 65, shopping list things. You say fees, I will just plead. I know we can plead still for fees, but we need to strike a balance. And you, by the way, you can also let the child that, I'm first going to office so that because we've paid half, and then I will be coming back to pay the rest. Some parents even fear to say to tell their children that money is not enough. So thank you very much. I can see someone is asking what that who can help me read? Where my chat room? I had some question. Someone is saying that can we come up with a WhatsApp group of parents? So I request my team to pick up that because we already have a WhatsApp group for parents. You need to be added. Thank you for this webinar because I sometimes think that I overtask my 14-year-old girl. She takes care of the siblings like cooking, washing clothes. I think Nuri will speak to that. She has already spoken to that. We all grew up practicing. Our children practicing, let them make those mistakes as they cook and put more salt or the food doesn't get ready. You teach them how to make the food ready. So then we are, okay. So yeah, I think as we close this, for me, I just want to, some parents in my inbox are talking about the role of technology. I think, Nuru, let's plainly answer the role of technology. You are telling us role models. You are telling us, responsibilities. Yet, I don't know the role of technology and social media in putting us into the trap. Because some parent has actually asked me that, Dr. Hanifa, social media is killing me. My child thinks she should be the actual social media. So I think also we need to understand this, and then you give us key takeaways. Our parents requested for more 10 minutes just to wind this up. So just tell us, social media trap, kati tukoze tutia, you have the mic.
Thank you so much. I am glad there is a parent of a 14-year-old here who is saying that she thought that she was giving the child a lot of tasks, but please, you're on the right track. In terms of technology, we all are culprits of social media. And of late, I'm having conversations around parents that have opted to parent like TikTokers. You create content, you're always on TikTok. The moment you reach home, you sit there and just be on TikTok, and that is taking away your parenting responsibility. But one thing that we have seen is that social media has played a critical role in creating these expectations that are unrealistic among its children, and it kind of promotes consumerism. So what we have done is that we have given a platform to our children to spend much more time on social media than socialize with others. I am very certain we are all culprits where our children have gadgets, they have phones. The moment you sit in a car, you place data, give them and say, "Bela kusimu nze kanjira mvuga." But meanwhile, you're going to a family function. The moment you get to the family function, what the children are doing, they are on Cocomelon, they are on whatever cartoons they want to watch, rather than socialize with people and learn from people. So that allows them to start comparisons because we never see what sometimes they're doing on phone. They start comparisons and start to feel that you either mistreat them or you don't treat them the special way as others. How do they do it? They start looking at thinking that, okay, when I was in this family gathering, Noor's children came with phones, but Hanifa's children had no phone. And the pressure that the children for Dr. Hanifa would be doing would be coming back to say, but mommy, also buy us phones. But daddy, also buy us phones. Why? Because in that gathering, Noor decided to move with phones for her children, and their children were wholly on social media. Or if it is just Noor's children and they're not going for family gathering, Noor's children can easily get onto YouTube, onto whatever you call it, to start looking out for what dress is available, what shoe is available, what whatever is on market, and then start pressurizing us as parents to provide what they think they miss, to provide those materialistic possessions. And as a result, there's some sense of entitlement that if you're a parent that easily moves into, you then get to be pressurized. So we advise parents to establish rules and limits on screen time. If your children have phones, please establish screen time. Also, you can easily connect your phone, the child's phone, to your email so that you get to know whatever app they're downloading. Screen time would ideally mean that the child is on phone for 2 hours or 1 hour in a day, and the rest of that time is for socializing. It also means that as a parent, you're going to do the same. There is no reason to work as earlier indicated by the parent, and then you get to the house, rather than socialize and connect with your children, you still pull up a chair, throw yourself in a chair and a TV and a phone. You're on phone at the same time, TV. And this is what most parents do. So that non-socialization has become an issue of technology that we have become culprits and our children. So when you find children disturbing you, you end up buying phones for them simply because you want soft life. But soft life is throwing us into a trap. And as I summarize, for me from this webinar, these are my recommendations. One, create a core chart in your house, assign specific roles to each child. Who washes dishes when? Who cleans baby when? Who irons clothes when? Because 14-year-olds, 13 can iron. Who cleans the veranda when? Cleans the kennel, the dog house when? Among others. That core list will help you for children to know that so mulimu gwange njoza bintu so mulimu gwange mbisimula, or for me I clean daddy's shoes when he comes home. It is okay because it's light work. Number two, implement a no free item policy. I've already spoken about mild and cabbage. Now this cabbage conversation started with tours. We are going for tour. Our tour, they need 100,000. I said, hey, okay, no free item here. Now start working. So that policy helps you to encourage children to earn their allowances or privileges. They will know that actually I cannot ask for dress if I've not worked for it. If you're the parent that can, please encourage saving. There are piggy banks everywhere. I think they're all called piggy banks. Go and get a piggy bank in the supermarket. Or, but they have those which they have made. It's what I have in the house. Buy a small one, put there. Let the child work as they save. At the end of the month, if they want something, you tell them, what do you want? I want a shoe. Do you know how much? No, 50,000. Then they start collecting 50,000 for their shoes. One experience I got during COVID is that we were home, all of us with children. Now, the children of the rich were moving up and about riding bicycles, and bicycle was the in thing. Question came to me, Mommy, wants bicycle. Daddy want bicycle. I said, you wash dish, 100 shillings. You clean the house, 100 shillings. So they bought bicycles at the end of the day. Of course, I added, but they knew that they had to work for them. So that's no free item policy will help you a lot. The third, and perhaps close to closing this, practice gratitude exercises. Let the children write down what they have done and why they think they need to be thankful. There's what we call a gratitude jar. I happen to have a jar. I didn't buy a jar. I bought a tin. Omukebe gwamatamwa nagaweddemu nenteke waka. I bought real papers. I didn't go for sticky notes, and said, for everything that you're grateful for every day at home, please write it, put it in the jar. Of course, we call it our grateful jar. So they write every week. Like today is our day for gratefulness. We are going to get our jar after supper, bring out and say, so what were you grateful for on this day? So if you keep appreciating your children, we love to appreciate, but that gratitude exercise helps them to understand that they have to be grateful to you for also the things that you do for them. So if you do gratefulness in return for them, it becomes quite important and you can get out of the trap. Then the other is set boundaries and consequences. We have overly discussed boundaries, established rules and consequences for not meeting expectations. I am with my son, but I am seated somewhere because for me, I already told him I am going to speak to people and I don't want you to disturb me. Do your things. That is my boundary. So he's away from here while I speak to you. Set your boundaries. Get your children out of your bedrooms. The other day I was speaking to a school and we were speaking about violence. And I told parents, violence starts from your houses. Your mothers, your husbands are abusing your own children. When you don't set boundaries, and because it's the area where I work, where I see things, a parent coming up and saying, and I ended up on my child. Please set boundaries. Those boundaries will help. Don't go to a supermarket without boundaries. Part of setting boundaries in my house, we have introduced what we call a shopping list. If something is not on the shopping list, I swear it will not be bought in a supermarket. It will not be bought in a market. So also shopping list does not mean we buy. We discuss. What are you asking for? A shoe. In the middle of the term, what do you want a shoe for? That one will be bought next term. What are you asking for? A sweet. What's the value add of a sweet? Remove. What are you asking for? A pencil. Oh, an essential for school. Please add, we shall buy. So those are the boundaries we have set that are good examples that we can utilize to support us as we go through this parenting journey together. And the other is have a model responsible behavior, demonstrate responsible behavior yourself. Work hard and take care of your personal belongings, be off social media, create time with children, engage in house chores. Maybe Dr. Hanif, one of the conversations we need to have, I don't know if you've heard it, perhaps I missed a webinar, is a conversation around balancing work and parenting. Everywhere I go, the first question that people ask me is, how are you able to be a deputy executive director of a busy organization, yet on your social media, one of the things that we follow is that we create time for your children? And I think this is one of the things that we struggle with. Why do I create time? And how do I create time? I don't have to sit with them there.
We have that in our upcoming webinars.
Please, let's create
upcoming webinars.
I will happily listen in to see what parents do. Because people think that you're supposed to sit with your child. No, I opt to move with one or two. One came back for 2 at midnight last night, left her at home. But I'm leaving her to sleep. Now we are going to the what? To the cabbage garden. I moved with this one. That is creating time. When you have time for them, they get to tell you so many things that you start thinking, okay, I think I need to have a conversation around maybe age appropriate sexuality information that Stepping Stones provides. So these role model behavior things that we're asking you to do are things that starts with you. Parenting starts with you. We used to have a Zigo called Mwana Mujimu. And for me, I studied Luganda, and we know that Mwana Mujimu have a Kongozi. So the Ngozi is you, the parent, for in this category. If you cannot nurture your child that way, you're going to fall a trap. And lastly, if not the last, encourage volunteering. You who have parents, who have children that are kind of in the age of teenage age, let them volunteer. Even at work, let them volunteer with you, even at home. My 13-year-old son, I just said, please type for me this. Volunteering for free, typing, musomesa computer as well as volunteering to do a thing. Volunteer in mosques, volunteer in churches, volunteer for community work. It doesn't have to be that you're going to work. But at what moment have you ever woken up to say, Banang, omuzikiti gwensalira mwani agulongosa, olwaleero nze ne family yaffe ffe tugenda okola ki? Ogulongosa. It allows the children a sense of knowing that actually, or this community mosque or church, before we go to pray in it, it is cleaned and it is possible for us to clean it. They grow up with that sense of responsibility that they can actually do things and then don't put you in that trap. And lastly, have open and regular conversations with your children. Discuss values, discuss ethics, discuss expectations, discuss responsibilities, discuss professionalism. For me, it is unprofessional for a child to come as I speak and they take away a phone. In our mother to daughter talks, father to son talks, mother to son talks, father to daughter talks, these are things we speak about. We have created to say, let us have conversations with our children. Who bathes them? Who buys them a sweet? Is it you or the parent or the person passerby, a foreign person in the home? Those help us in so many ways. I am certain that if we did all these things, we would be parents that are free of the entitlement trap. Thank you so much.
Wow. It's as though we've just started the call, but then we should be role models for time management. However, I did ask for a little extra time. Parents, we can pick on the gratitude box. At the Stepping Stone, we have also innovated a parenting journal.
Yeah.
Because you see, most of these things, they get so many in this era of distraction. So as parents, we have created a parenting journal that can actually help you to write down your parenting goals, to have all these quality time things and all that. You have also talked about the issue of balancing work and life. That will be one of our webinars to come. And all these things that you are talking about are very doable. I don't see something that costs thousands of money. If I can save to buy a car, why can't I save to be a role model? Why can't I do simple things like, a screen-free time? For me, I have what we call our charging kameza. Like for my little ones, we have a place, a kameza, where we charge our phones. And but also as we do this, we have to have some degree of flexibility. Sometimes you allow them, but with a reason. For example, if my son says that, Mommy, we have a match over Manya European Ibichi, they have those things where European League, then over what? He says, Mommy, the mupira gwa sawa musanvu. For once in a while, I accept, but with a reason. I say, okay, since you like this football, yes, you are going to watch it, of course, with guidance, but this is not our routine. I explain that it's because it's Manya champion, European, Manya Magurukande, Muhammad Salah. He has so many names that I pick. So I give him a waiver, or I die a little, but with a reason. So that next time he doesn't say, but Mommy, we can be on TV up to 1. No, the reason was you had a match. So I think all this discussion is very healthy. Someone is saying that the presentation has been informative, engaging, and thought-provoking. Thank you, Stepping Stone. You are welcome. And then Doctor, kindly put these takeaways on the group. Okay, can I ask someone from my team to just pick for me those takeaways and we type it in the chat room? Yes, I know someone behind scenes. Please help me write those ones down. Do we have a parents group? I think my team will do that. Key takeaways. Noor has been kind enough. She has given us the key takeaways, but also parents, we are going to have a podcast for this. So just share your mail. We shall be able to send that, or your WhatsApp number. We shall be able to share the newsletter, podcast for this particular talk. Wow, I think in the interest of time, for me, so many things have stood out for me. I don't want really to repeat, but having an open discussion is one of the things, and it's going to be one of our webinars. How do we communicate effectively with children of nowadays? My team has alerted me that our next webinar is going to be on the 15th of August, and the topic, of course, will be broadcasted. So as we wind up, I would like maybe to use 1 minute for people to give us, just type in the chat room, your parting shots. What is standing out for you? One thing. And then I'll request you to turn on your video so that we take that screenshot. Noor, thank you very much. I know in your other circles you are council, deputy, but here I'm calling you Noor because you are a colleague of ours into this issue of parenting. So thank you very much. And thank you so much, because this is not textbook. This is experience. This is real low-hanging fruits that as parents, we can be able to use. That's why we are asking you for your email so that we can create a podcast for you and we share, because we are in this thing together. At the Stepping Stone, we believe that we can ably work together. So when I talk about using the journal, it is something that is so important for me because it has worked for me. That I have my journal, I put in my goals, I put in my all these things that Noor is talking about. You need to document them. The value system you are talking about, you just keep saying, if you want to chino, have you written down those values and you have sat to discuss with your child? The discussion goes on, interesting. What stood out? Setting boundaries, great talk and very informative, very educative. The mails are there. Thank you very much. I can see, yes, thank you very much. Members, the takeaways are in the chat room, so you can just open them. And then we can be able to pick it from there. Otherwise, we hope to see you on the 15th of August. Please keep your WhatsApp groups open. We are going to ensure that we deliver according to what you really request for. So you can see that this, when we put out a call, please help us pick that call, and then we shall be able to get the actual topic that you would want us to talk about. I request someone who is sharing your screen, you are sharing your drive. So parents, please turn on your videos. Please turn on your video so we do a final screenshot. Nur, thank you very much. Someone, please remove you are sharing your drive. Someone, you are sharing your drive, remove it. We need to, please parents, turn on your videos and we do a final picture just to keep updated with our proceedings for this chat. Thank you very much. Rachel, please switch off your drive. Members, let us just have a picture. Chris, let me know if the picture is done and then we close this. Yep, thank you very much. Let's turn on our videos. By the way, I thank the men that have been on the call. Our next webinar should be offered by a man. So if you are really volunteering to do so, just share on my number. I don't know whether my number was shared. 750-708, that is Dr. Hanifa's number. I don't know, was my number shared already? Members, just reach out to me and then we shall be able. Nur, we thank you, you volunteered. So when she talk about volunteering, she's leading by example. My number is in the chat room. We need parents to come out, share your stories, and we are in this thing together. So may I see the videos and we take the final whatever, and we take the final picture. Rachel, please remove your drive. Please remove your drive. Kindly remove your drive on the screen. So let me know if you have actually shared. Can we remove that drive, please? Okay, Chris, let me know if the picture is done so that we let the parents go. Okay, thank you very much. For now, I say bye-bye. Thank you so much. This has been so insightful. Nul, I can see. Are you in the supermarket? Yeah.
No, I'm at
These
the
things
pharmacy.
happen.
I'm at the pharmacy.
You are in the pharmacy. Thank you very much. I hope, Chris, you've taken that picture for parents. See you on the 15th of August when we shall have a very important discussion, most likely about work-life integration, but we shall keep you posted. Thank you very much. For now, bye-bye.
Thank you too.